Alright, guys, I really was not planning on going live again tonight. I'm not going to lie to you, but we have multiple strong and potentially violent tornadoes on the ground. We have an absolutely ginormous tornado that just ripped through Claremore, Oklahoma. This is a PDS tornado, very close to tornado emergency. I mean, it just ripped right through downtown Claremore. And then we still have our ongoing tornado. Yes, we still have it ongoing off to the north of McKinney, Texas. At the end of last stream, I kind of thought it had lifted, but no, it is still on the ground and it is still very large and very strong. I mean, there's just an absolutely massive debris signature. I mean, it is quite literally capping out the scale here near Anna and Melissa. And I mean, this is just ripping right through an extremely populated area, just like our one near Claremore, Oklahoma. I can't even talk right now, guys. This is just absolutely insane. Again, reflectivity, you can even see the debris ball on there. This is just an absolutely gigantic tornado that just ripped through Claremore, Oklahoma. Again, little surprised it didn't go tornado emergency. I mean, it's just kind of one of those situations, where I really thought it would. I mean, it just kind of popped up so fast, though, that I don't think many people were expecting this. And just look at that debris signature from one scan ago. And I mean, still look at it. It's just absolutely insane what we've got going on right now, you guys. You're not supposed to be able to see debris on reflectivity, but we can, which just shows you how absolutely massive and violent this tornado is that just, again, ripped right through downtown Claremore, unfortunately. No matter what way you paint this picture, it's an ugly one, all right? It just went right through. It's not like it hit the southern side, the northern side, No, it went right through. And now it's riding Interstate 44, still a very strong and large tornado. I mean, that is just an absolutely massive debris signature. You don't see something like that too often. And the reflectivity presentation is also painting an extremely concerning picture, once again, for that area. So, again, you need to be taking cover right now if you're there. And, again, we've also got to cover our tornado north of McKinney because that is also a PDS tornado. Again, we have two PDS tornadoes at once. This is one near Weston and Kelly. Also near Chambersville, very large and strong tornado as well. Again, this is still on the ground, still very large, and unfortunately very dangerous here. So as it heads towards Kelly, Anna, Melissa, Chambersville, Weston, if you know anybody in this area, you gotta give them a call or text and make sure they're okay. I mean, this is just absolutely insane. Both the tornadoes we have right now are both PDS once again, and two completely different parts of the southern plains here. One of them is up in northern Oklahoma, the other's down in northern Texas. I mean, this tornado near Claremore is arguably the more concerning one, but both of them are extremely large and strong. I mean, that is just right on top of Interstate 44, you guys. I mean, that is just an absolutely ginormous tornado. You don't see correlation coefficient drops like that almost ever. I just cannot believe it. Wow. And this is just such a strong tornado here in Texas as well. If it's not still on the ground, it was as of several minutes ago, though I don't know if it is at this point. The velocities definitely aren't as tight as they were, and I'm not seeing any clear debris ball anymore, but that does not mean it's not on the ground, so do not let your guard down. If you're in Anna, you gotta stay in your tornado safe spot. Very large and strong tornado here. But again, the one closer to Claremore is arguably even bigger. I mean, that is just an absolutely massive tornado. Again, this is violent. This is deadly. And this is a huge, destructive, life-threatening tornado, maxing out the correlation coefficient scale now. As it travels towards areas to the northeast of Claremore along Interstate 44, you can once again see the debris ball on reflectivity. Again, this might get upgraded to a tornado emergency, guys. I would not rule it out. And at 11:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time, a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado is located over Claremore, moving east at 50 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Impacts, you're in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly. Those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be destroyed. Considerable damage to homes, businesses, and vehicles is likely, and complete destruction is possible. I mean, this just ripped right through Claremore, guys. This is just awful. Now we're worried about areas like Harmony Star, Lone Chapel, Pryor Creek, and Green getting directly impacted by this. This is again just oh my gosh. I mean, guys, it doesn't get worse than this, really. Again, this will get a tornado emergency most likely sometime over the next several minutes. This is a violent, deadly tornado. Again, this is a huge tornado, guys. I would be very surprised if they don't update this to tornado emergency. You don't get a tornado like this that doesn't go toward E very often. Cannot believe it. This is just an insanely large tornado, guys. Again, this is the most dangerous situation you will ever be in if you're out here in this warning. So again, you gotta run to your safe spot, guys. Very large and deadly tornado on the ground. Oh, wow. I knew even before I looked at the next velocity scan that it was going to be bad. You could hear me whining even before I looked at it. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is going to go tornado emergency warn. There's no way it doesn't. All you folks out here have got to run to your tornado safe spot. This is going to be a tornado emergency within the next few minutes, and if it doesn't, then that would be one of the crazier things that's happened today. But this is just a giant, deadly, absolutely massive tornado here. It's going to go right to the north of Harmony Star, areas to the south of Interstate 44. Again, just an absolutely huge tornado here, guys. And again, we will probably see a tornado emergency out of this. Just came in from Ryan Hall's channel. Looks like there might be another tornado down by Ella and yeah, there's another tornado by Anna and Kelly. And by the way, that PDS warning did just get reissued for that area near Leonard, Blue Ridge, and Wolf City. And I don't want to ignore this tornado because this is also an extremely large and deadly tornado. The thing about the other one, though, is that I believe not only is it larger, but also in a more populated area. So again, our main focus is on this one, but again, I don't want to ignore everybody in Northeast Texas because that's also an extremely large and dangerous tornado. It sucks whenever we have, even just one tornado like this going on, but it's impossible to cover whenever we have multiple. Just an extremely, incredibly large and damaging tornado near Anna as well. But again, our one up near Claremore looks even more concerning in my opinion. The velocities are the most concerning part about it, by far, no question. We're talking about gate-to-gate shear over 200 miles per hour. I mean, guys, we don't pre-rate on this channel, but this is a EF4, EF5 type tornado here. It's at the very least EF3 plus. Again, we don't pre-rate tornadoes here. That's not what this is about. But this is just insanely large. Again, you got to run to your tornado safe spot. Again, this is one of the biggest tornadoes we've ever personally covered on this channel here. Again, it is just absolutely mind-blowing that this is not a tornado emergency yet. I don't know what they're waiting for. This is, again, an absolutely giant tornado here. Kind of looks like on the most recent velocity scan, though, it's a little bit less so. That debris ball is... Can't even think of a word for it. Devastating, I guess, but I mean, that doesn't really even go to the full extent of explaining how bad that really is. By the way, just absolutely giant hail here on our Texas tornado. 79 dBZs southeast of Sedalia. Absolutely massive hail falling. Somehow only warned for golf ball-sized hail, but it's definitely at least, large apple-sized hail, softball-sized hail, DVD-sized hail, maybe even grapefruit-sized hail, whatever. That's rough. And if you're out here, you don't have time. You got to run to your tornado safe spot. I don't care where you are in the warning polygon. Same thing with our tornado up near Claremore. Again, I wasn't even live for it, but it ripped right through Claremore. I thought it'd be stupid to go live again right after ending, but then eventually I realized, there are people out here that need help. Who cares if somebody gets annoyed by multiple live streams and unsubscribes? And just an absolute monster of a tornado here near Pryor Creek. And again, our tornado near Anna is no joke either. This is, again, a very large and strong tornado. We're mostly focused on our Oklahoma one, though, because, again, it is just absolutely nuts what this tornado is doing. You don't see stuff like this hardly ever. Again, gate-to-gate shear over 200 miles per hour. It is so strong, it is glitching out the velocities, and there's this little bar in the middle of it. And of course, I had to rip through the most populated metro, or one of the more populated metros in Oklahoma. That of which being the Tulsa, or the Tulsa suburbs, technically. Whatever. Again, you guys, the tornadoes do not get too much stronger than this. They really don't. This is just absolutely insane what we're seeing here. Again, now it's backed off a little bit, but it is still just absolutely giant here with gate-to-gate shear over 200 miles per hour. And I don't know how this is not a tornado emergency. I don't know what condition they're looking for to make this warrant a tornado emergency, but to me, if I was sitting in the National Weather Service in Tulsa, that would be my main priority right now. I'd drop everything else I was doing and get this to a tornado emergency. And oh my gosh, dude. It is just impossible to cover all this at once. I am genuinely getting sick to my stomach thinking about what these people must be going through right now. And unfortunately, there's just no sign of that tornado stopping anytime soon. Oh my gosh. Just cannot believe it. I know I haven't said anything for a few minutes. Been trying to compose a sentence here, but I really can't think of anything to say at this point. Again, the fact that this is not a tornado emergency is just kind of ridiculous to me. They issued a tornado emergency for the Barnsdall tornado. I don't see how this situation is any different. I mean, it ripped right through Claremore. We can continue to focus on what's going on now, but right before the stream, that beast ripped right through Claremore. And the reason we're talking about how bad it is now is because now it's even more intense. The good thing is it's not ripping through quite as populated of an area, but still, oh my gosh. 66 DBZ values on a debris ball is almost unheard of. The thing is this tornado is genuinely so strong that the velocities don't like the idea of how strong and tight these velocities are at the same time, so they put this little barb through them. And you can see it with almost all the violent tornadoes that we have that are this close to a radar site. They always end up, having a little bar through them, and that's because it's quite literally so strong that the velocities glitch out, and they can't comprehend a tornado being this strong, so they just try to throw a little bar through it. That's kind of my theory with this. And now we are up to 68 DBZ values on a tornado debris ball. I've never seen that in my entire life. This has been updated. I don't know why they're not throwing this at a tornado emergency. I don't see what the harm is at this point. There are definitely people that are having a horrible time with this right now. Actually, that's the reflectivity and the velocities do not match up at all. But that's just because the reflectivity is like a scan behind, actually. I don't know how that's not a tornado emergency. I mean, that is the biggest tornado in... I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Yeah, I'm not trying to ignore our folks down here in Texas, but I hope you understand our Oklahoma tornado is just so extremely dangerous right now. I mean, it is the most dangerous situation, again, that you'll find yourself in your entire life if you were up here. I don't care where you are. In the entire county, you need to be seeking shelter. This thing is throwing debris up miles into the air almost. Look at that. I don't know if we'll see something like this again for the rest of the year, guys. That's how intense of a tornado we're talking about right now. And this is one of the biggest tornadoes I've ever seen in my entire life. I've been doing this. I've been watching every single storm across the United States for the past, over a year now. A year, almost a year and a half. And I've never seen anything like this on radar. Got that debris tail. I mean, I've seen stuff like this on radar. Alright, I want to clarify this. I've seen stuff like this on radar. It has not been in this populated of an area. Never. The only time I can think of something that could genuinely compare to this would be the Barnsdall tornado. Which, ironically enough, I'm not going to say funnily enough because it's not funny, but ironically enough, was less than 50 miles away from this one. This is the only tornado that I can even think of that's happened this year that reminds me of this. This is... What in the world just happened? Okay. I mean, Nope, I'm not even going to try to finish a sentence. No point. Our storm in North Texas has finally been downgraded to radar indicated. That was PDS for almost 2 hours, guys. Or at least on the ground for a long time. And now we have another strong tornado trying to develop near Arkansas City, Kansas. Wow. I mean, you guys can see it. I mean, it ripped. Hold on. Let's do 21 frames. It ripped right through Claremore. And the damage out of Claremore is going to be catastrophic. And especially areas like to the northwest of Harmony Star. Luckily, that's the least populated area it hit whenever it was at its most intense point. But there were still homes out there because this entire area is incredibly populated. Northeastern Oklahoma is all very populated, and whenever you get tornadoes like this in this area, it's just awful. It's looking like the tornado throughout this storm is kind of going down. Actually, if anything, it's going up. Never mind. Well, no. It may be going up, but I think at this point, it's definitely at least a damaging windbag. With tornado force winds potentially at the surface. So, this is just an absolute beast ripping through in Oklahoma. Strongest tornado we've seen today. After that Texas tornado, I was like, alright, we're done. That's the biggest tornado we're seeing today. And then Oklahoma shows up with this. A 4-mile wide debris ball, in fact. Or up to 4 miles wide, potentially. Can't tell if that's contamination on the end or not, but I think that's debris. So we are talking about a 4-mile wide debris ball, which, for reference, is about the same size as the Greenfield, Iowa tornado, and that was officially rated high NDF4. So, again, I don't pre-rate here, but that's kind of what we're talking about, and thankfully it's finally died. That's, at the very least, an weakening trend, but again, you gotta understand, guys, there is so much debris in the air here. You need to stay in your tornado-safe spot. Cannot believe it. I really can't. Oh, look at this. The top 4 trends. Hashtag tornado. Take cover now. DFW weather in Tulsa. Who would have guessed that? Again, this is a Barnsdall, Oklahoma-like event. Oh my gosh. I just saw a picture of the Texas tornado. Was a large, damaging wedge. Even the Texas one should have gone tornado emergency. The Oklahoma one, that's without question, it should have gone tornado emergency, but even the Texas one should have. With a wedge tornado that violent, I mean, that thing is at the very least like an eighth of a mile wide. Very large wedge tornado there, guys. Oh, look at that, now I-35 is trending. You want to take a wild guess why? The worst part about it is how populated these areas are. That's definitely the worst. Obviously, the fact that they're violent tornadoes would be bad anywhere, but just ripping through areas like that, unfortunately, there is almost zero scenario, I'm guessing, where we, get out of this without having any, trying to figure out a word of casualties. That occur. So, and you guys, nobody deserves to go through anything like that. I would not wish that upon my worst enemy. That was just ridiculously strong and violent and deadly, whatever wording you want to use. Just a literal disaster there. Let's go back up to our storm in Kansas. It looks like it's very strong. Oh, wow. Okay, all of our tornado warnings are down to radar indicated now, so we're going to end off the live stream here, guys. It's after midnight. I need rest. But for real this time, we're not coming back. I don't care if we get a tornado emergency. We're not going to be back on here tonight. We'll be back tomorrow for some more live coverage. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.